All right. Joining my hike today. I love it. I'm Kevin, and this is Hiking with Kevin. And whew, what a crazy day. Long story short, I almost didn't make it here. I had so many obligations, so many things I had to do, and I just had to juggle everything in a nutshell. That's the short version. Nobody likes to tell a long story anymore. People are lazy. Then they tell a short version, and sometimes they leave out important information, you know? My cousin Bob, he's been visiting us from Seattle all week. He's been sleeping on our couch. Anyway, long story short, last week we carried his body out to the boat. What? What happened? That said, I'm gonna be editing this video hike. So this is gonna be a long hike short. Come on, let's take it. Hiking on my left side today is someone who I find very unique, so interesting, so clever, so funny. I first discovered her on her Netflix special called One of the Greats. She was a writer on Parks and Rec for a couple seasons. I just found that out. I didn't even know it. And you probably know her from her role on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's right. Today, long story short, we're hiking with Chelsea Peretti.
You know, I should have watched all the other ones you've done.
I don't think you'll learn anything.
I should have. This is what I always think. Every time I have like a meeting with someone or like anything I'm doing, I'm like, oh, I should have read or prepared or looked at stuff.
Yeah. So Chelsea, you're a mother now.
Yeah.
And you just threw away a cup of coffee, was it? And a pack of cigarettes, or was that your cell phone?
I threw away a little bit of a cold brew.
Was it a caffeine drink?
I need two a day now. Doctor's orders.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Was it an easy pregnancy for you?
Yeah, I mean, relatively speaking, because I didn't have that thing that Amy Schumer and that royalty lady had.
You didn't have a surrogate?
No, the thing where you throw up all day long.
Oh, yes.
Now, every day, I'm just like, how are one of us gonna die in my family? How do I keep us all alive? And the world is...
That's the biggest thing is
right?
when you're coming home from the hospital, it's like, we have to keep this thing alive.
Right, because in the pregnancy, you're just like, oh, I hope this is a healthy baby. And you don't realize, no, this is the rest of your... Like, you worry during the pregnancy that it'll be healthy, and then the rest of your life is dedicated to more worry about a variety of other things.
Yeah.
I was always saying to my husband, I'm like, I'm just so worried you're gonna die somehow. And he's like, me? What about you? And then I started broadening it out.
Yeah, I'll produce it up here, huh?
Oh yeah. Now this is scary though in an earthquake. See, here's where I start thinking about death again. This whole mountain avalanching toward us.
Were you in the big earthquake up in San Francisco?
Yes, I was.
In 1937?
Yeah, I was in a Thai restaurant with my grandparents. This was before cell phones, so my mom and dad had no idea where I was. They thought I was in San Francisco, and the bar had those kind of like stemware that's hanging down over the bar.
Yeah.
And it was all like shaking, and a building across the street had a big old crack in the foundation.
Wow.
And then the people at the restaurant were like, it's fine, it's not.
Did that terrify you?
We finished our meal.
Wow. I mean, did it screw you up for like now whenever you feel a little bit of a shake, you think it's gonna be a big one?
Well, I feel like we're due for a big one, and that's the thing I'm scared of any time I'm separate from my child.
Oh, yeah. This is the Bat Cave from the Batman series.
We're walking into it.
Yeah, we're gonna walk right through it.
Seriously.
It's a little muddy.
Mud.
Are you fearful?
Are you kidding? Do you hear anything I'm saying? Ugh, this is so muddy. Whoa. This is crazy. Let me take my sunglasses
Very
off.
cool.
Mosquito swampland. This feels like somewhere that you would drag a prisoner in a more primitive time.
It really is.
Whoa, and this is what?
Do you think in general you're a negative person?
Yes, I have to basically constantly train my mind to remember. Like, I'll think of everything negative and connect the dots.
Yeah.
And I circumvent, like, obviously I'm very lucky and have a great life. In fact, I never expected to have such a great life, so I think that, well, part of me didn't. So I feel like I'm always expecting, like, the other shoe to drop in some horrible way.
So you don't get excited about things because you think it's not going to happen, right?
No, I do, but I get anxious. Like, opportunities, I'm like, oh, it's like anything in show business that's an opportunity is kind of like
Yeah.
finals. You know, you're like, well, here's an opportunity to fail.
Right.
But you know, my therapist has been out of town for a year. Oh my God.
Where did she go? Where is she?
To call California. This is called persevering through an anecdote,
Yeah.
no matter what comes at you.
Who did you meet out here that really thrilled you?
That screwed
That you
me?
were just starstruck, not screwed you.
Oh, I couldn't.
That happens a lot, I know. But no, just really you were starstruck about.
You know what's so weird? Fred Willard.
Really?
I love him. Like Waiting for Guffman, him and Catherine O'Hara's characters I love
Yeah.
so much. Anyway, I met him at JFL, you know. Like
Is that an
festival.
airport?
The Montreal Comedy Festival.
Oh, JFL.
And he like came up to me and watched this like really silly show I used to do. And he was so nice, and I was definitely like,
Silly show means stand-up?
no, it was like a talking heads show. This is like, I feel like we're gonna get tics and Lyme disease on this. Well, it's
See,
not
there's that
even me, this is
negativeness
just-
coming out.
This is it for us.
You'd be horrible on a camping trip, wouldn't you?
You know, the
never
funny
can.
thing is I do love nature,
Yeah, as long as it's inside.
but I wouldn't want to be wearing thin leggings on like rubbing up against tall grasses, because Lyme disease just seems to be very challenging.
You still here?
Yeah.
I've never come this far on this trail before. It's kind of interesting. You know?
Yeah.
Hello? What if I was just alone? You fell off the side.
You see me running down the mountain.
How long have you been married now?
I think like 2 years.
You think like 2 years?
Well, you know what's very comforting is neither of us are like, we both forgot our anniversary,
You
I
did?
think both times. So it's like no one's like, this means the most to me and you forgot. Like, it's not like our, honestly, we live every day like pretty nicely. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I forget, are you married to Key or Peele?
Peel.
Peele.
Yeah.
And that's the tall one?
No.
No, Jordan
I don't
Peele.
like tall guys.
You're married to Jordan Peele, who's
Yeah.
a writer and an actor. How exciting was that to have like a movie that was nominated for an Academy Award and winning it?
You know what's crazy is when we were on a night walk and he walked me through the entire story of that movie.
After you saw it?
No, before it was even fully written, I think.
Yeah.
Like he was just outlining it. And I had goosebumps and I felt like I could see that trajectory for it from that early on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just felt like one of those things where I'm like, this is gonna be good and it's gonna be so fun to
It was
watch.
so great. It was so fun. It wasn't based on your relationship, was it?
Yeah, it was actually just nearly missed the documentary category.
You took him home to your hometown and he never
Hometown.
returned. You've been on Brooklyn Nine-Nine for how many years now?
I did 5 seasons and then this is the 6th season and I'm doing some of the episodes.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But not the full season.
Right, right. Did you like doing that show?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I learned so much. Like, day one, I was standing in front of the camera of someone else's coverage in the scene, you know?
Yeah.
The camera guy was so nice. He's like, oh, can you take a step like 1 inch to the right? And I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Your stand-up special from a couple years ago. Well, I think I told you at the time how much I loved it. And I didn't really know you were stand-up before then. And, you know, I see you riding in on this motorcycle with the helmet on.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was you.
Yeah, it was
You
a
would
stunt
never use a
person.
stunt person.
I'm like, no, it was a stunt person.
But you really have to be creative like that these days because there's so many stand-up specials. And you need something to, you know, stand out. And yours was so unique because you would cut away to the audience, like to, you know, I think a cat or something in the audience or something else, you know?
Yeah,
And,
dogs and babies and
yeah,
a guy eating a hard-boiled egg.
yeah.
Honestly, that was the part of the special I was the most excited about.
Uh-huh.
And so that's why I'm writing a movie now, because it's like, I feel like I wasn't as excited about the stand-up as I was about these other crazy ideas I had. You
I'd
know?
love to read your script when you have a copy. you
Yeah.
know?
Well, have your agent reach out. So many
I don't want to read it that badly.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to reach out. That's a great phrase, though.
Yeah,
when you
reach out.
want something from somebody, say, "Hey, man, I just wanted to reach out." You know,
I love
as
all
if,
the Hollywood jargon, like circle back. You know.
circle back. Yeah.
My friend used to call her agent back and be like, say her name, like say her name was Susan Smith. She'd be like, "This is Susan Smith returning."
Returning.
Which I always thought was crazy.
Yeah.
Like you could just say you're calling back.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like all to seem like you're like in the biz.
My father would say a lot, like if he went to put the phone down to get somebody,
Yeah.
he'd say to me, "Hold one, Kev, hold one."
What does that mean? Like
I guess
hold
it's
line
hold
one?
line one or something. Yeah. What annoys you the most about being married? Like, does he leave the cap off the toothpaste? Does he, what does he complain about?
Well, we're both kind of messy artistes.
When you say messy artiste, it's almost like the artiste is an excuse.
I'm trying to
It makes it
Well,
okay.
you know what it is? I'm trying to
Get down! Get down! Get down! Move! Move! Yeah! Woo! That was close. Woo!
They're dropping red powder.
Why did you and Jordan elope?
It's just the idea of figuring out a guest list for your wedding and
Yeah.
planning it, it just doesn't seem fun at all. So why start your lives with something that feels like a huge nightmare headache? I think we both thought it was really romantic to elope and
Where did you elope to?
Big Sur.
What do you guys do for fun?
Honestly, like, as soon as our child is asleep, we watch 90 Day Fiancé. That's lately all we do. We order food.
That's the show where they bring someone in from another country, right?
Yeah.
And there's
Well,
90
sort of,
days.
yeah. It always seems to be an American and someone from frequently a very destitute international community. And then the American's always like, "I think they really love me," and their family's
Yeah.
like, "They don't, they're using you, they want to be a US citizen." And then the whole time you're watching it, like, do they love each other or do But we
find
do watch
myself-
it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
okay.
interrupted you. What? Okay. Do you do drama too, acting-wise?
Well, I just did an indie that, when they sent me the script, they're like, "This is a drama, but it's funny."
Mm-hmm.
And then when they announced it, they're like, "This is a comedy." So that was,
I guess. Yeah.
so
I
that
guess
was
you
an
couldn't pull off the
interesting
drama.
thing.
Can you cry on demand?
No, but they announced it before I had gone to shoot it,
Yeah.
They just announced it as a comedy. I
That's when
did
you're not
cry.
sure the writers know what they're doing.
Yeah, I
It's a
don't
drama.
know.
It's comedy. It's drama.
Yeah, I was like, it was an interesting scenario. But I had to cry on camera in that movie. In the first scene I shot, I was crying over my mother's grave in a cemetery, and it was actually raining.
Oh man.
And I was with a child actor. So it's like, let me dip my toe in drama.
Were you able to bring it?
I
as
did.
They say? Really? What were you thinking about?
I was thinking about one of my parents dying. and I did cry, but the thing is that was so funny is that when I finished the movie, I was like, this nagging feeling. I was like, I ugly cried. I only ugly cried. Like I should have done one that was more demure.
Yeah. You want to
But-
look good when you're crying.
Yeah, like I was like, ugh! Like,
How did you guys celebrate when Jordan won the Oscar?
well, there was all these after parties and stuff, but we were relatively new parents at the time, so
Yeah.
we were very tired.
Yeah.
We did go to this one crazy after party where it was just like everyone you'd ever.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Everybody.
it was crazy.
Yeah. But when you heard the nomination,
we went to a really nice restaurant too.
just the two of you?
I feel like we went with my brother and his wife. And had like a great, nice meal.
Yeah. But when you guys heard them read off the nominations and Get Out was selected,
The combinations. It was very, I hate to use the word surreal, but it really was sort of strange because, yeah.
who was the first person you guys called?
Well, I don't even know because everyone was texting us. Like, you know those things where it's like if you're on TV and something that like a lot of people are watching, it's like when Brooklyn Nine-Nine premiered.
Yeah.
I had like 100 texts. You know what I mean? Like everyone you've ever known starts texting you, and they all think no one else is texting you. Like you're like, or the best is if something like that is happening, and then someone's like, "Hey, how have you been doing?" Like, and you're like, you're just checking in.
You're just checking in. Hey, no, I haven't talked to you in a couple of years, but. You know what else is kind of like sad too is I remember when I used to do talk shows, stand up.
Yeah.
And I get all these calls. I even saved messages from when I first did the Tide show. I still have the messages.
Oh yeah.
Tape.
Yeah.
And then after a while, it becomes so commonplace. People stop calling.
Yeah.
You stop telling people you're going to be on the shows, because you're doing them so frequently.
Yeah.
And but that period when you first start doing it, it's so exciting and so fun.
Well, I always hear stories like that. I feel like I came up in such a different time in which there's like 100 shows on every channel. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I feel like when I hear comedians like talk about like the Tonight Show and like the impact it could have on your career and all that, like I feel like I missed that experience. And it sounds, well, I don't know if I would do well in that experience because it's so much pressure.
Yeah.
It seems like, I mean, you must have been so nervous the first time.
I was so nervous. Chelsea, I forgot my opening line on my way out to my spot when they were applauding. I couldn't remember my act.
Of course. That's what, I mean,
so
I would
nervous.
feel that way 100%. I get so much, like, nervousness around it all.
And my mouth got so dry when I smiled, my lips stuck to my gums like that. And I didn't want to lick them because then I knew people would think I was nervous. He's got cotton mouth, he's nervous.
Yeah, so you just let it stay up
So
there.
I brought my lower lip up to adjust for it. Thanks, Chelsea Peretti. Wow, she is one of the great ones. Chelsea was mentioning the earthquake in Northridge in 1994. I remember exactly where I was that day too. And everybody remembers exactly where they were. I was home on my bed, and then I was home on the floor, and then I was in the bathtub, curled up in the fetal position, and then I was still home under a table. That's where I was. Same place as I was when we landed on the moon. Scary, all scary. Thanks for joining my hike. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll catch you next time. Happy trails.